Hello, everyone. This is Chala, CEO and founder of the Repositioning Expert. Welcome to another Tuesday Tea Time with Chala. Let me take a sip so that you can always watch the first 2 minutes of me drinking something. So today we had the big, long-awaited first of the year masterclass, the one-liner marketing masterclass. We had a good turnout. We had signed up a record number of people, I thought in December, but we outdid it in January. And we had quite a few of them show up. And we're doing it again tomorrow as a bonus, where I'm actually going to have guests coming. These are my amazing clients who like rock and rolled their year, and they're going to talk about how, decreasing their focus in terms of their niche and looking at a smaller focus of people for their messaging and their positioning was able to help them get to, I think they said it was 100% growth in net and 500% growth in gross revenue since year over year, which is like phenomenal, right? That's like double your business. So let me tell you about the new craze. I mean, it's pretty contentious to say that, but the numbers don't lie, guys. I'm a numbers girl. The numbers don't lie. So the B2C craze of this influencer marketing. So for those of you who don't know what influencer marketing is, it's those social media creators, or there are people on social media who have a lot of following. And they usually, through design strategy or just by happenstance, belong to a certain target group or address a certain target group or are followed by a certain target group and demographics. And they're influencers. And for example, one of my friends is a fitness over 50 influencer on Instagram, and across multiple platforms, she has millions of followers, and that's how she makes her living. She literally, brands come to her and ask her to represent them because of the following that she has, because there's no other way that those brands are able to, I mean, there are other ways, but there's not as many effective ways. And here's the numbers don't lie. So influencer marketing brings in 11 times greater ROI, 11 times greater ROI versus any other marketing tactic. And 81, when they asked chief marketing officers what were some of the ways that they were going to increase their spending, change their spending, what are they going to spend on, 81% said they were going to use LinkedIn in their marketing. So obviously there's influencer marketing happening on LinkedIn. Now, how can you get a piece of the pie? So what influencer marketing does is that the influencer themselves I'll go into how they get compensated, but really what I wanted to do is take you through a step-by-step of how you're gonna find influencers and how you're gonna get clients through influencers on LinkedIn. Okay, so remember, basically getting a person on LinkedIn who has a lot of your target group as followers. And these influencers are not only followed, but they're respected, they're known, and they generate a lot of posts or a lot of views. They're either creators or they curate somebody else's, but either way, they have a lot of eyeballs on them, and they have a stature to be able to talk to a lot of people. And when they talk on your behalf or they endorse your product, that's just not just brand halo advertising, but so you rub shoulders with a brand that stands for something like that person, and you elevate your brand just by virtue of proximity to that brand, let alone actual people who trust this person's opinion on what to buy, what not to buy, who to hire, who not to hire. So the job number one is, of course, having a really good clarity on your target market. We just did the one-liner masterclass. In order to have your one-liner elevator pitch, anything in marketing starts with your target market. And the problem with target market is most people are guessing at it. Most people have it all over the place. They have not bucketed down into a niche of an industry or an interest group. They're just trying to target by function, which I'm kind of against because it doesn't really give us the industry specific pain to message on, and so on. So, first job, who to target? What is the industry? Who is the interest group? Pick one at a time, unless you have the bandwidth to have multiple marketing strategies and teams going after it. So, which industry or interest group? Number two is decide your positioning to determine the messaging. Again, your positioning usually comes from your target's number one most expensive and very specific problem. So again, I'm going to refer back to the training that I just did to say that you just help with client retention or employee retention is not enough. That's just too broad. Or to say that you're a consultant, not enough. You have to get it strictly down into a very, very specific pain point, very, very specific problem. Has to be expensive, has to be common to that target group, and it has to be in their language. So once you figure out your positioning, the target, your positioning, and the messaging based on the pain of your target, you have your positioning and your messaging. Okay. So if you don't know what this is, you have to you have to hire a strategist, or you have to go through the process that I was just talking about, is to figure out who's the target and what's their pain. All right. So the next step is decide what you want. So what is your goal? So there could be a whole bunch of goals in your marketing. Of course, it's sales, right? I know that. But to get to the sales, first, is it visibility for a specific product or service? Is it visibility for your whole company or your brand? Like, think about what is going to get you to what you need the most fastest. Is it credibility? Is it social equity? Like, remember I was telling you that shoulder to shoulder with this person is going to make you and your brand elevate. Are you trying to get a case study or to get visibility on a case study? Are you trying to get a testimonial endorsement from this person? Think about what is the fastest path to cash for LinkedIn. I understand that everybody, all of marketing, every single effort is done to get a sale, but what is the strategy to get a sale? What is the route that you're going to go through to get the sale? Because for somebody to just all of a sudden say, hey, I'm drinking so and so, and I've been using this accountant and they're great. Is that the strategy that you want? Or are you trying to build a credential and credibility? And is there a path to the madness of doing that? So is this person going to use your services and talk about it on a weekly basis, on a daily basis? Is it going to be like sitting in the background? So there's a whole bunch of strategy you need to get through in order to decide what is the goal is. So first you decide what the goal is, and then of course you tailor the strategy accordingly. Okay, next step is finding the influencer. Now you must be thinking, oh my God, where do I find the influencer? Is there like a 411 book of influencers? And I bet you there are some. I don't know of any, but the one that I'm thinking of is, first of all, I want you to think about the people in your industry. I want you to first think about your customers that are good customers and look at those that have a big following and a big presence and a big amount of content share. Look at your people in your target industry that may or may not be working with you, but that you can introduce yourself to and approach them with such a proposition. After all, you're going to give them money. They're not just doing it as a favor. There's no influencer that works for free unless it's free goods. And in which case you could do a barter. So as I said, go after your actual target industry, go after your clients that are well-known in that target industry, or actual, strangers. And then what about suppliers? So look at suppliers that are respected in that industry that obviously don't compete with you, and look for people who have a lot of followers, a lot of posts, a lot of content. They do frequent posts and they have high engagement. So Posts are great, but engagement is better. Okay. And usually one goes with the other. The next step is, of course, you have to approach them. So you have to have an offer in place. You're going to know exactly what the brief is in terms of what is it that you're trying to achieve, and what was the sort of methodology that you had in mind. Is it that, is it on the table in the background, or are they actually saying something about it, or is it a deep dive where they're actually doing stories about, how they're interacting with you? And what is the offer exactly? Is it a commission percentage? Is it a fee per content, which what happens often? Is it a fee per post, and what kind of post and how long? Is it a monthly fee, or is there an affiliate link that every time they mention you and there's an affiliate link, they automatically get a percentage? The next step is, of course, the content strategy. So who's going to create it? Is it you? Is it them? Is it your team? Is it their team? Is it a third party? Who's going to create it, and what are the topics? So when a marketing company starts working with you, when I start working with a client, we come up with a whole bunch of titles. Now, you can do this through Chat GPT, or you can do it. Chat GPT, I've been reading, that is a little bit dated, but again, it does the research, it does the heavy lifting for you. And it's my belief that topics haven't changed in a year, because my Chat GPT is the free version. It's only given me till, I think it's 2022, until the end of 2022. And then please also determine what the success parameters are. Like, how many views, how many likes, how many purchases, how many times do you want the product to be mentioned or used, or then what is going to be the conversion that you're looking for, so that you can course correct and adjust. And then that's the next step. Really, you track what's happening, change it up. If one type isn't working, try the other type, and optimize as you go. And then, of course, you report, because what doesn't get reported is not noticed, it's invisible. And then you rinse and repeat what's been working. Now, if you're finding one influencer is not having a good traction, you could always try another one, right? And you can have a whole roster of them, you can have a whole bunch of them. I mean, B2C brands regularly have like a multitude of them at the same time, because and the bigger trend is like the micro influencers, who are not like millions, 10 millions. They're more like up to 1 million, or they're smaller influencers, or maybe just between 1 million and 2 million followers I'm talking about. But LinkedIn might be different. It could be much smaller, but have a lot more interaction and visibility. So that's how you become a part of this new craze of the B2B influencer marketing on LinkedIn. I do it to a certain extent. I haven't formalized it as a referral program or as an influencer program, but I have certainly benefited from people who I've asked. I have approached people and I've asked them to share some of the stuff that I'm doing, and especially to get some registrations for sending links and getting the endorsement of certain people. They've been kind enough, and I've been fortunate enough to be able to do that. But imagine what's possible for you when you approach it like an actual marketing mix as part of your whole strategy to do. In fact, it's so successful that you could just use this and nothing else. If you made this your day, all day, every day, to approach influencers and get them to talk about you and get them to use your services and show people how it's working and why it's different and so on. So with that said, I want to just remind you that tomorrow is the bonus for the One-Liner Marketing Masterclass, and we'll be doing only an hour. And part of that is going to be my clients who are going to guest. And we're going to be talking about how to use your one-liner elevator pitch in a marketing capacity, in a marketing plan to be able to get new clients. Okay. And that's going to be at 1 p.m. Eastern and 10 a.m. Pacific. I will see you next week. All the best. If I can only find, there we go.